Social media management is notorious for being high pressure, competitive, and changing literally every day, which is why it isn't surprising that most social media managers get burned out within the first 2 years. So how do you keep going? How do you stay up with the latest updates, protect your mental health, and build a successful social media management business that supports your lifestyle goals? Whether that's working from home with your kiddos or jet setting around the world, that's what this show is all about. Welcome to Social Media Manager Confidential. I'm Shantae Gorman, founder of a 6-figure social media management agency and mentor to social media managers. And I'm here to dish on the ins and outs of the social media management world without any of the gatekeeping that can come along with it. You'll learn, you'll laugh, and you'll leave each episode inspired. Let's dive into today's episode. Welcome back to another episode of Social Media Manager Confidential. If this is your first episode, a special welcome and a shout out to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are coming back every single week, thank you so much for being here and letting me know what you love about the show. Today, we're focusing on the biggest mistakes social media managers make that can result in losing money, clients, and ultimately their business. Let's dive in. When you're the person calling the shots and doing all the things, it can be a lot of pressure. And if that's a position you've never been in before, it can make it a whole lot more difficult. While the ultimate goal is to have a business that can reliably provide income and freedom, the reality is that it's kind of difficult to achieve. It doesn't happen by accident. It takes time, patience, and business know-how. There are some things that I've seen hinder this to the point that the social media manager just dissolves their business completely, which is why I'm sharing these with you so that you can identify if you're having any of these issues and hopefully make a plan to fix them before you hit that point. Pricing is the biggest mistake I see, specifically pricing yourself too low. As a self-employed business owner, you're probably responsible for also paying taxes. Quarterly estimated taxes are a thing here in the States, and if you don't pay them or are late, you get hit with an extra fine. Plus overhead costs like Canva, scheduling software, maybe your phone or internet bill, paying contractors, all of these things and more need to be factored into your package pricing. During our first week, I have my mentees sit down and go through their business finances. So many times they'll do this and their hearts will sink because they realize that they're charging half of what they should be. After their expenses are paid, they're making less than minimum wage, or they might even be losing more money than they're making. Knowing how much time you spend on each client as well as how much your overhead is for them is what makes all the difference when it comes to profit. If you need help getting started with this, I sell an easy-to-use spreadsheet called the Profitable Pricing Calculator in my template shop. The link is in the show notes for you. Organization, or the lack of, more specifically, is a whole beast. You need to organize based on your clients, the content they're providing, the content you're creating, special dates or projects to be aware of, plus tracking deadlines, revisions, posting dates, invoicing, and when monthly reporting is due. The fewer tools you use to accomplish these things, the more simple and streamlined this will be for you. I have a YouTube video that goes into detail on the tools that I recommend, so I'll link that in the show notes for you. I'm going to slide right in here and interrupt for just a moment to let you know that you are personally invited to join the Sugar Punch community for social media managers. Inside this community, social media managers like you come together to meet and support one another, get answers to burning questions, and build a thriving social media management business. It's 100% free, plus you'll get access to exclusive trainings and resources, be invited to special events, participate in fun challenges, get added to our social media manager directory, and more. Create your free account by going to community.sugarpunchmarketing.com. I'll link it in the show notes for you. See you inside. Now back to today's episode. You've heard me talking about this one on this podcast already, but it's expectation management. This means knowing what your clients' goals are, giving them realistic metrics and goals, and being willing to remind them that the goal isn't usually to go viral. There's highs and lows based on the season and the platform, and being able to communicate with them as well as reassure them when the numbers are lower than usual is essential in being able to manage their expectations. This particular mistake is one that we all make, myself included, and that's working with red flag clients. These are clients that maybe you had a gut feeling about, completely missed your first meeting without a word, and then wanted to reschedule without an apology, or really seem like they don't know what it is that they want. They usually have sky-high expectations and expect you to be able to just press a button to make everything happen within the budget and time frame that they want. Sometimes they micromanage, sometimes they barely communicate except to be negative, and other times they try to get you to do more and more things for them without paying you fairly. If any of these sound familiar to you, congratulations! You've completed one of the rites of passage of being a self-employed social media manager. There are steps you can take to rectify this, like putting boundaries in place, increasing your prices, or firing them altogether with notice, but becoming aware of them and knowing how to avoid them or mediate them if needed is going to be pivotal to the success of your business. And I'm going to be totally frank with you. If you do not have boundaries and your client roster has red flag clients, this is the biggest determining factor in what will make or break your business's success. One last mistake I want to touch on today has to do with discovery calls. When you schedule a discovery call with a potential client, they're already starting to see what it'll be like to work with you. You want them to feel taken care of, that you're well prepared and professional. Setting up automated reminders for your call is helpful with this, but also just being prepared and researching them beforehand can go a long way. They shouldn't have to explain to you what their product is if they have a website, or who they are if you could easily find that through Google. Have a list of questions to ask them that will help you determine what type of package they need, like their goals, current strategy, and more. Have you experienced any of these mistakes? Are you currently struggling with one and want some assistance? I want to invite you to join my private community for social media managers. It's like a Facebook group, but hosted privately on my website, and every application is vetted so only social media managers are allowed in. It's that true space for you to be able to ask questions and give and get feedback. If you have any friends who are struggling with knowing how to build their social media management business, share the link to this episode with them and help them out. And if you're not already following the podcast, make sure you hit the follow button or the plus button in Apple Podcasts so you can get brand new episodes delivered straight to your podcast app every Friday. Thank you so much for listening. I'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Learn more about my digital template shop, online courses, and mentorship program by going to my website at sugarpunchmarketing.com. And while you're there, make sure you join my safe, supportive community created exclusively for social media managers. It's 100% free to join and packed with really amazing resources, trainings, and people. See you next time.